He cried for blood, he raved for blood, till a fearful change began, and he turned to rend the peaceful flocks and lost the shape of man. His shoulders bare were clothed with hair, his limbs grew long and lean, yet still you might trace on his wolfish face what once the wretch had been. The grisly locks were hard and stiff, the eye was cold and keen, and the savage sneer of Lycan's mouth in the famished wolf was seen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Howling Halloween II.
I'm a force of nature. Bonk! If you were from where I was from, you'd be fucking dead.
This is exactly the fun palate cleanser I needed after watching The Howling, which if you didn't watch that video already, first off, shame on you. And second, that movie is essentially just one big allegory for sexual assault against women. So yeah, it's not exactly the most cheerful subject to see portrayed, making it a more somber movie, despite critics saying it's a cheesy, funny movie. Which makes me slightly concerned, but then I think about who are the people that compose Hollywood, and suddenly it's all coming together. I'm getting off track, but let's talk about one of the most 80s movies to ever 80s movie, completed with enough cheese to flood the entire great state of Wisconsin.
Ice isn't Milwaukee eating magma. Please do not tell me that this place is actually made of cheese. I thought it was a cheese-covered building!
Silver Bullet is based on the Stephen King novel, which I've never read, so to compare it to the book is something I just can't do. And I swear to the god that smote me down last week. I mean, the getting insulted part, that makes sense, because Zeus is an insecure little pansy. I mean, get over it. Okay, I should have seen that coming. I will come to your house and personally beat you with my belt in hand while your father is out getting milk if I see a single, "the book was better," in the comments. We don't do that around here. This movie is a lot of fun. It's really campy and cheesy, and while it has moments it tries to take seriously, it has moments like this. And this.
Stop! Break!
And most importantly, this.
Son of a bitch! Oh, shit!
Heck, the werewolf at one point gets a firework shot into one of his eyes, which I must say, that has some very impressive aim. I mean, the fact this movie has a werewolf kill people with a baseball bat, not once, but twice, is so glorious. I mean, a werewolf already has the tools to kill someone rather effectively, as we see throughout the film, and still chooses to resort to a father's go-to weapon for burglars, which should show you exactly what kind of movie you're gonna be sitting in for. A movie that can have some tense moments for sure, with, I think, being the best one is when Marty, who I'm just gonna refer to as Joe Swanson, because, well, you know. They're both male with brown hair. Obviously. And they're both Crip. I have learned what I said was hurtful, and I wish to apologize for my insensitive comments regarding the differently abled community. Words can hurt. But not as much as a f***ing firework in the eye, you motherfucker! So let's look at our colorful cast of characters, and they sure are 80s characters with the classic siblings that don't get along, but by the end, and after one scary werewolf attack, they have made up all their differences, it seems. In fact, the narration in the movie is provided by the older sister, which is kind of there, but just seems like it's thrown in randomly at parts because why not have narration? The main character is Joe Swanson, who the movie points out is in fact not capable of using his legs.
You know as well as I do he couldn't have climbed that tree to stop Brady anyway. You always take his side because he's crippled. Well, it's not my fault he's crippled.
Damn cripple. Always end up on welfare.
He's just your kind of standard 80s kid in a movie. You don't hate him and wish for him to get eaten, but you probably don't remember anything about his actual personality. I mean, he is the one that bat takes out one of the werewolf's eyes via firework when he's launching fireworks in the middle of the night on a bridge after his crazy wacky uncle gives them to him. Which does lead to probably one of the creepiest shots in the movie that isn't just another from the perspective of the monster shot, which of course there is nothing wrong with that. Okay, to be fair, Joe has a close relationship with his uncle, who is played by motherfucking Gary Busey. Now, the uncle is fun, and really only because of Gary Busey, who hams up the role, and you can tell he has a lot of fun with it. Within the end, he gets to fight the werewolf, but I dare say the uncle has a more pronounced character growth than Joe ever did, with him trying to be a better role model for Joe, as well as trying to live up to this image that his nephew has created of him, which leads to him doing not too safe things, such as giving his nephew a motorcycle that's capable of outrunning or getting into high-speed car chases. But just like any classic uncle, he has a perfectly legitimate disease that truly influences him and could be argued that he isn't in full control of himself. And that disease?
Alcohol.
Mr. Booze. Mr. Booze.
Heck, we even see him flasking in a child's memorial service. And that is a real-life Cameron reference. And finally, the most prominent character that totally didn't turn out to be the werewolf if you've never seen a Scooby-Doo episode before, but the referent was in fact the monster. You know, somewhere in there's a joke about a priest going after kids, but that's too easy. I'm above that kind of. I like that the Reverend is into Little League Baseball. Good to know that there's always someone out there standing behind embracing those little boys. Yeah, why else would this one random character be having this much screen time? Could it be because he is the villain? Now, I kind of already talked about the werewolf, but a couple more things to add. But the kills it gets are fun and they're over the top with 80s gore. With while the suit not really looking that good and taken away from the tension when it's on the screen, the fun kills it does get are absolutely worth a cheaper looking suit, including getting a werewolf shark in the mists of the fog. Plus, need I mention that the fact that a baseball bat is this werewolf's go-to weapon of choice? Whoever came up with that idea needs a big old fat raise. But that's Silver Bullet, a kind of scary horror film that is a lot of fun to watch if you like your movies extra cheesy. I'm Cameron Facer, spank all those buttons, stay safe out there, and I'll see you all later. Bye bye.